In the humid heat of Haiti's early colonial period, whispers of the dead walking among the living began to thread their way through local folklore. These were not tales of vampires or spirits, but of corpses risen, not by miracle, but by malice. The concept of the zombie found its earliest roots here, bound not just to the dead, but to the enslaved, whose autonomy had been violently stripped away both in life and it was feared in death. With the introduction of African spiritual beliefs through the transatlantic slave trade, and their syncretism with French Catholicism and native Taino practices, the groundwork for voodoo or Vodou was laid, and with it, the legend of the zombie. The zombie, in its original context, was not a flesh-eating monster, but a symbol of spiritual slavery. According to traditional Vodou belief, a powerful priest known as a Boko could revive the dead using secretive rituals and substances, bending the reanimated body to their will. Ethnobotanist Wade Davis famously documented these practices in the 1980s, linking zombie folklore to neurotoxins such as tetrodotoxin derived from pufferfish. This potent one, if administered correctly, could mimic death and later allow revival, albeit in a cognitively diminished state, perfect for manipulation. Though Davis's findings were hotly debated in academic circles, they did offer a biomedical lens through which to understand these chilling myths. One of the most infamous real-life cases is that of Clairvius Narcissus, a Haitian man who was allegedly declared dead in 1962, only to reappear in his village nearly 2 decades later. Narcissus claimed to have been buried alive, drugged, and forced to work on a sugar plantation under the control of a Boko. His case was investigated by researchers and became a focal point in Davis' writings. Though skeptics have questioned the reliability of Narcissus' testimony, the medical records from the time support the fact of his death certificate, making this one of the most compelling zombie narratives with tangible documentation. But zombies did not remain confined to Haitian soil. As American occupation and media influence expanded in the early 20th century, the zombie was exported, repackaged for Western audiences. In early cinema, most notably in films like White Zombie 1832, the creature retained its Caribbean mystique, subservient, blank-eyed and controlled. However, by the 1960s, a seismic shift occurred. George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead transformed the zombie into a vehicle of social commentary. No longer a slave of black magic, this new iteration of the undead symbolized consumerism, contagion, and societal collapse. The zombie was reborn not by magic, but by science fiction and nuclear fear. This evolution continued in the 2000s with films like 28 Days Later and the explosive popularity of The Walking Dead. Zombies became fast, rabid, and viral. They were now pandemic metaphors mirroring fears of SARS, Ebola, and global collapse. The creature that once walked slowly under moonlit Haitian skies now sprinted through the imagination of a world afraid of contagion and bioengineered doom. Cultural theorists argue that zombies persist in our media, not because of what they are, but because of what they represent. Our anxieties, our hypocrisies, our fragile society. Despite the saturation of zombie fiction, real-life beliefs in zombification persist in rural areas of Haiti and beyond. Some anthropologists suggest that these beliefs offer structure to communities, explanations for mental illness or sudden disappearances, and even social control through fear. While Western science largely dismisses the literal belief in zombies, it cannot easily discard the societal functions these narratives perform. In essence, the zombie is a myth that refuses to die, not because of supernatural power, but because of its utility. From a psychological standpoint, the zombie archetype allows individuals to externalize dehumanization. be it through war, capitalism, or disease. The idea that people can be reduced to soulless husks is an all too relatable metaphor. The workplace grind, political propaganda, social alienation, zombies are what we fear we might become. They are reflections of ourselves stripped of identity, purpose, and autonomy. While there may never be scientific consensus on the pharmacological resurrection of the dead, the enduring popularity of zombies across cultures is undeniable. Whether whispered in Haitian prayer or shouted in a Hollywood script, the zombie represents far more than horror. It is a mirror to our moral and existential dilemmas. Perhaps that's why we keep them alive in fiction. They help us explore death without dying, fear without fleeing, and humanity without being human.